see 7. I would love a 7-game series, but I think it'll end in 6. And honestly, I think LeBron is going to will the Lakers to a championship. They have so much to play for. Like you said, with the Black Mamba, they're playing for him. They got KB on their jersey. So they've got so much on their minds with Kobe and trying to live up to what he stood for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I know they're tired and they're ready to get out of the bubble. They've been there for 3 months and they're ready to get this thing over with. So if they can power through at least what we think is 6 or 7 more games, I think the Lakers will probably win this series, but the Miami Heat are going to give them everything in their arsenal to make it that much harder for them to win a championship. But I give it to the Lakers and LeBron. I just think LeBron is so determined right now to bring LA a championship and get his 4th championship with 3 different teams, Cleveland, Miami, and Los Angeles. And how great would it be to beat his former team, the Miami Heat, and win his 4th championship?
Yes, that's what I'm eager to see, and how that's, and I believe would not be the first time, at least in the playoffs, he's facing a prior team of his. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you said it, how tired these players are and are getting even more and more tired. Even though, yes, there was a break because due to COVID, it's been game after game after game after game for months now in a bubble. The longest NBA season in its history. We're not going to have a 2020 season. The season's not going to pick up until next year. We already know that. So these 2 teams are going to duel it out, a true duel, and it's going to be the best of the best, and they're going to put it all out there. So I'm excited to see what LeBron, the Lakers, the Heat, they all come and bring to the court, and who's going to become the 2019, if you want to call it, or 2020, I don't know, asterisk, NBA Finals champion. So we have several days away to find out what those results are going to be. October, oh my, full of sports. If we look at a calendar for October, there's a game played like every single day in the game of October.
Pretty much, yeah. Crazy, right?
It's insane. When have we ever had a month like that, ever, in the history of sports?
I don't think it's ever happened. This is just in an unusual year, but I'm glad we have sports in an unusual year of sports and an unusual year that we've all been living through. It's still great to have sports back, even as crazy as it is. And we're all trying to juggle basketball and baseball and football. And now the hockey's over. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning for winning the Stanley Cup championship over the Dallas Stars. Great win for them.
Yes, major. We're going to move on and talk some NFL, some football. As much as I love talking about football and it's football season, it aches me to talk about what I'm about to talk about here in just a moment. This last weekend, oh my gosh, talk about a roller coaster of emotions. And in sports, this weekend was, oh my goodness, one of those weekends. So just a little recap over the weekend, bringing it local. I'm not going to dwell on this, and I'm going to move on after I mention it once and get your take on it. Word vomit, let it out. I do not want to be unhappy with this, so I want to like rip off the Band-Aid and go. My goodness. I'm going to lead off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay? And I'm going to just rip off the Band-Aid and lead off with the ugly. Arizona Cardinals. My goodness. That was just brutal to see them losing to the Detroit Lions. I have no words. Literally no words. You cannot make the mistakes that you made. 3 turnovers for the Cardinals. Could have been a 4 or 5 turnover game. It was just so many mistakes that just happened. Arizona Cardinals cannot lose to a team like the Detroit Lions. It's like the Detroit Lions knew what every single one of their weaknesses were. Every single, effect that could take on the Arizona Cardinals and the way to take them down. It's pretty much what happened. Unacceptable, unbearable to see. It just hurts so much. If they're going to lose a game, okay, have it lose a game, have it be now. But you cannot make those mistakes. You cannot miss a field goal. That's another thing. These games you have to win. 0-2 team wins against a 2-0 team, Arizona Cardinals. So before I go to the good and the bad, I want to because I think that this is also your ugly, Ed, for the NFL this last weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was so ugly. I was sitting there watching the game, and I'm just like, what in the world are the Cardinals doing? They're playing a team that's lost 11 games in a row. This was a team, I believe, that lost 4 straight double-digit leads within that 11-game losing streak, Joe. The Detroit Lions, no disrespect to them, but they're a horrible football team. That is a team that the Arizona Cardinals should have steamrolled. But like you said, 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions by on a part of Kyle Murray, a missed field goal, like you said, by Zane Gonzalez. So many mistakes against a team that you should have absolutely destroyed at home, leading into a 3-game road trip. You know this road trip is going to be so difficult. You got to go to Carolina. You got to go play the New York Jets, although that should be a victory in the Meadowlands because the Jets are horrendous. But then the week after that, you have a Monday night game, I believe, against the Dallas Cowboys in Arlington. So you had to have this game, Joe, going on the road. You cannot lose to a Detroit Lions team that bad in your home stadium. Like you said, unacceptable, a horrific loss. And I was just shocked when Matt Prater hit that 39-yard field goal and won it. But I just shook my head, and I was just so sad that they gave up that game. Again, they should have won easily against a very bad football team.
Yes, that was a given of a game, and they just could not capitalize, and it was downhill from the start. That's all I can say. So going on to my next is the bad. My bad was the Cowboys. They played Seattle Seahawks. So we know the Seattle Seahawks. Come on, another 2-0 team as well in the same division of the Arizona Cardinals. These two teams are, pretty head-to-head. Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson. It was a good game. They put on a good game. But at the same time, Cowboys just did not have enough in them to overcome Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks just knew what to do, get in there, and just tackle down those Cowboys. So, Ed, you're bad.
My bad is probably Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes. I believe he's now 0-3 against Patrick Mahomes. He was not good on Monday night against the Kansas City Chiefs at home at M&T Bank Stadium. You're trying to make a statement against the world champions, and you come out and you only throw for 97 yards. Joe, he ran for almost as many yards as he threw. He ran for 83 yards, 97 yards. Meanwhile, the $500 million just does what he wants to, wherever he wants to. It's just amazing to see Patrick Mahomes do what he does. And that's why he's making $503 million, because he can do that. But for Lamar Jackson, that shows he's 21-1 against every other football team in the National Football League, but he cannot beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. So for him to make that step and take the Baltimore Ravens where he wants to, he's got to find a way to step himself up when he takes on a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. But for him to only throw for less than 100 yards against the best quarterback in all of football, the best athlete, the face of the National Football League, that's unacceptable. And Lamar Jackson is the reigning MVP, and he comes out, he can't throw for 100 yards against the Kansas City Chiefs in his home building. That's my bad. And that's his bad.
That's a big bad.
A big bad. That's a huge bad.
But let's go and look on the bright side. Let's bring in some good.
Okay.
My good, Packers and the Saints.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football was stellar. I think that was my highlight of football this last weekend. The Packers, Aaron Rodgers, phenomenal, outstanding, stellar, amazing. Not enough words in the vocabulary to describe that game. And Aaron Rodgers to top it off. It's like cherry on top. 37 Packers against 30 for the New Orleans Saints and Drew Brees. Just seeing that game, oh my gosh, Aaron Rodgers, you still have fire in you. He is, I don't know how old he is. Is he, 35, I believe? I cannot wait to see what more he has to for this season. In a conversation that I was having too with a friend when I was watching the game, a lot of comparison, to Brett Favre, another phenomenal quarterback, also Green Bay Packer, is amazing. But to also have this type of performance and the type of player that he is, he also has his bads. Don't get me wrong. He's had plenty of bads. And he's been one of those quarterbacks to have 3 turnovers in a game as well. But to the type of player that he is, that mentality he has too, and he goes out there and goes to win, and to the caliber of this game that it was, and having their draft pick that's going to eventually at one day, if we see it, take over for Aaron Rodgers, for him to see this, to see this and be able to have him as a guide as he's going into that role. Just a thought I would bring in.
We know that did not sit well with Aaron Rodgers when they picked Jordan Love in the first round of the 2020 NFL draft. That did not sit well with Aaron Rodgers, and I'm sure that put fuel to the fire for him. That probably lit a fire under him, thinking, okay, so the Packers, so you're going to go out and draft a quarterback. What does that mean for me? What does that say in your belief system in me that you're going to go out and draft a quarterback instead of getting some other potential offensive talent to help me out? Even though he has some great weapons, he's got Aaron Jones, that kid is just running all over the place. Alan Lazard played so well on Sunday night in place of Devontae Adams. Yeah, I know Aaron missed Devontae Adams on Sunday night, but Alan Lazard, 6 catches for 146 yards and a touchdown. And there were so many different cuts. The camera cut to Aaron Rodgers, and he was smiling. It looked like he was having so much fun on Sunday night. And that speaks a lot to what Matt LaFleur has done in such a short time in Green Bay. He's 16-3 in his first 19 games as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, Joe. That's the best record of any head coach that has ever coached the Green Bay Packers. So what does that say for Matt LaFleur? He's come in and he's grabbed this organization he just grabbed them like this and said, okay, this is how we're going to do things. I'm the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. We're running this thing this way. And that's why we're so successful, because he's a no-nonsense guy. He's a young head coach. He's a very progressive and he's very creative head coach. And I think Aaron Rodgers loves him. I'm sure it took some time for them both to get on the same page, but Aaron seems to be having so much fun out there in his mid-30s, and he's got talent. He's got a good defense. He's got a great offensive line. He's got so much talent, and when Devontae Adams comes back, oh my goodness, watch out. This is a team that scored 30 or more in all of their 3 games. This is a hard offense to stop. This is a hard team to beat. Green Bay is for real.
They are not kidding, which makes me even more excited. I'm a Packers fan. You know this. All my friends know this. And been a Packers fan since I was a kid. That all started with Brett Favre, going on to Aaron Rodgers. But just you saying that, 16-3, just gives me chills. Come on. And Aaron Rodgers, 35. He still has some playing time to do. Come on.
Sure.
Tom Brady's 42. How much more can Aaron Rodgers do in his time in the NFL that he still has left?
As long as he stays healthy and they continue to keep talent around him and keep him happy, they continue to build an offensive line around him and keep him as upright and keep his jersey as clean as possible, and he's happy, and in between the ears, he's still mentally stable, and he loves the game of football. Of course, Aaron could play for at least 6 or 7 more years, at least as long as Tom is playing right now, because Aaron right now, he's playing out of his mind. He's on another planet. He's on another solar system with the way he's playing football. And I'm glad to see that he's happy, and the Green Bay Packers are continuing to stay relevant and continuing to be one of the best teams in all of the National Football League. And I know that's got to make you so giddy.
It does. Can you see the